Hey guys, my name is Zidan Ramadhan, and I'm going I'm going to do my project one from intermediate grammar. And today I'm going to tell you about the power of compound complex sentence. Okay, the power of compound complex sentence. Well, I'm going to tell you from first one, the introduction one. The important is expression one's idea. Compound complex sentences are pivotal for effectively conveying layered compound complex layered truths and increased relationship, allowing writers to create cohesive and sophisticated narrative and 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 the integration of sentence types by merging elements of compound and complex sentence. This structure enable writers to connect multiple ideas while maintaining clarity and depth and captivating the reader. The multifaceted nature of compound complex sentence engage readers by establishing logical connection and enhancing the overall impact of the writing. Okay, so decoding the structure of dependent clause. Self-contained thoughts. Independent clause stand alone as a complete units of meaning, offering a clear and concise idea within a sentence. And the core of compound complex sentence, they serve as main framework, supporting additional information provided by dependent clause. Example in practice, persons like she enjoys reading and he plays the guitar, demonstrate their independent and completeness within a narrative. Okay, now for the dependent clause, reliance on independent clause, dependent clause enrich the narrative but require the context provided by independent clause to form complete meaning. Adding depth and nuance, they introduce elements like causation, contrast, conditions, or time frames, enhancing the complexity of ideas. An example of utility, phrase such as because he's tired and although he practices regularly, illustrate their role in providing context and connection. Okay. Now for example of compound complex sentence, cause and effects, showcase cause and effect relationship. Compound complex sentence uniquely integrates dependent and independent clauses, allowing writers to highlight causal connection in a more defined manner. Offers contextual depth by combining dependent clause like due to the storm that can knock out the power with independent action sentence. Action sentence can explain why specific event occur. Smooth connection between ideas. This sentence merge cause and effect efficiently to maintain logical coherence, engaging the reader to understand consequence. Okay. For contrast, there's one articulates opposing idea. Compound complex sentence present a platform for showcasing contrasting viewpoint or preference, enhancing the depth of narrative or argumentation. Second, explores balanced comparisons. Interesting clause such as while she is passionate about hiking in the mountain, her brother enjoys lounging on the beach. They juxtapose differing perspective harmoniously within one sentence. Now, number three, provoke for the true thought or action. By juxtaposing contrast, this sentence can help eliminate tension or trade-off that lead to subsequent action or decision. Okay, now time relationship. I like chronically ordered through dependent clause, like whenever I complete my homework. Now, compound complex sentence establish precise time relation among events. Strengthen narrative flow, enabling writer to transition smoothly between sequential or simultaneously action, facilitates readability and clarity in storytelling. Integrate layer events by linking chronological action, such sentence offer depth insight into the timing and dependencies between various activities. Okay. For condition, express adaptable planning by incorporating conditional dependent clause like if it rains tomorrow. Such sentence explains scenarios contingent on certain condition. Clarifies flexible outcomes. They help define contrasting possibility, such as choosing between a cozy movie night or an outdoor activity based on external factors like weather. Okay, enhance decision-making narrative. Compound complex sentence adeptly outline decision-making process and strategies grounded in conditional possibilities. Okay, for explanation of samples, analysis of cause and effect examples establish causal link. The dependent clause due to the storm that could knock out the powers, explain the reason for the action in the independent clause. Connection cause and effect seamlessly. Emphasize the reaction. The impedant clause where we read candle to illuminate our dinner, highlight the necessary response, completing the cause and effect cycle with clarity. Now, the role of the conjunction. The subordinate place due to acts as a pivotal bridge linking the dependent and independent clause while explicitly introducing the causal relationship. Okay, analysis of contrast sample. Presenting opposing ideas, the dependent clause, while she is passionate about hiking in the mountain, juxtaposed with the independent clause, her brother enjoy lounging on the beach, demonstrates a stark difference in preference, highlights consequence. The clause prompting them to frequently negotiate their vacation plans, reveal how the contrast influence their decision making. Use of conjunction, the subordinating conjunction while signals the opening of comparison, serving to highlight the contrasting desires of the subject. Okay, the analysis of time relationship example. Establishing sequence. The dependent clause Whenever I complete my homework, set the time frame for the action in the connected independent cause, ensuring chronological clarity. Connecting actions, the independent cause, I dive into the video game with my friends, flows naturally into where we release discussion, seeing our favorite strategy, creating a narrative anchored in shared pastime, clarifying the vision through whenever the structure emphasizes a recurring routine, offering insight into patterns of behavior tied to specific condition. Okay, analysis of condition example describes potential outcomes. The dependent cause if it rains tomorrow and if the sky is clear. Outline construct contrasting possibility that influence decision in the independent cause and showcase adaptively. The independent cause will cozy up indoors for a movie marathon. Contrasts with will pack a picnic and head to the park, revealing flexibility in plans. Role of conjunction: the conditional if serve as critical links, structuring the sentence to highlight two differing scenarios based on external factors. Now, for importance in academic writing consists of ideas, navigate, intricate academic concept, compose complex sentence, effectively combine multiple independent and dependent clauses to explore one's relationship within sophisticated academic ideas, support multidimensional analysis by linking the diverse concepts. These sentences help present academic topics with greater depth and precision, promote understanding of abstract theories, wider use compound of complex structures to articulate theories that require multiple layers of clarification, clarity and cohesion. Maintain logical flow, integrating independent and dependent cause, improve the progression of ideas, supporting clarity in academic arguments. With complex concepts, the structure enables seamless transition between ideas, ensuring the main argument remains cohesive. Break down intricate ideas by just opposing related causes. Compound complex sentences help dissect academic complexity into these digestible parts. Richness of details enhance contextual depth. These sentences provide the flexibility to add qualifiers and context necessary for academic precision, include multiplicate information. The inclusion of dependent clause allows rich detail without losing sentence clarity. Address exception and subtleties. Writers can incorporate caveats or nuance to refine explanation in academic discussion. Now, engagement with narrative dynamics, compound complex sentence, bring clarity to academic text, fostering sustained reader engagement. Avoid monotonized styles. The combination of clause prevent verbosity while maintaining diversity in sentence structure. Encourage deeper involvement. Sophisticated sentence form invite reader to connect more directly with the content. Demonstrating relationship. conveying causality clearly. Why they use this sentence to express cause and effect relationship vital for academic reasoning. Highlight contrast effectively. Compound complex sentence articulate opposing idea, helping define academic argument. Illustrate conditional scenarios. These sentences are essential in presenting what if analyze a common aspect of scholarly evaluation. But the conclusion of this is highlight the significance of mastering compound complex sentence, showing their ability to elevate writing by intertwining intricate ideas and enhancing clarity. Demonstrate how this sentence engage the audience by creating dynamic narrative flows with details, relationship, enhancing the reader's understanding. Advocate for compound complex sentence as strategic tools to transform writing, making it both profoundly informative and relatable. And stress the utility of compound complex sentence in portraying the multifaceted relationship, such as cause and effect, contrast, time, and condition, thus enriching communication. Reinforce the idea that embracing compound complex sentence can sharpen effective communication skill, driving impactful storytelling. Okay, for the next one, I'm going to explain illogical participial modifiers. Okay, for the definition and overview of illogical participial modifier, the definition: an illogical participial modifier arises when a participial phrase is improperly positioned, creating ambiguity or confusion in its intent to modify a particular noun. Connection issues. Misuse occurs when the particle implies a nonsensical relationship between action or subjects, thereby distorting the intended meaning of the sentence. Ambiguity, amplification, incorrect placement often leads to grammatical error that confuse readers, violating clarity and sometimes radically altering meaning. Definition and all the distant problem. When participial modifiers are too far from their intended noun, the logical link between description and subject becomes disrupted. Misleading syntax. Illogical modifiers make sentence misleading, like attributing action to nouns. I cannot logically perform them, evident in example such as walking down the streets, the sun shone brightly. That's ridiculous. Now, for example, another example again, like running through the park. Original sentence issue. The participial phrase running to the park misleading modifies the flowers, suggesting that flowers were running. So the flowers were running, which is logically impossible. Running to the it's impossible, just impossible. Correct sentence. The referred sentence qualifies subject as I, logically connecting to the action of running to the intended actor. Running to, for I saw the flowers blooming in the spring sunshine. That's the correct one. The importance of correct placement. Improper placement of participial phrase can distort the intended meaning. It's vital to ensure that modifiers are placed too close to the intended subject to avoid ambiguity. Impact on readability. Illogical modifiers often confuse the reader, making the sentence harder to understand and detracting from clarity of communication. Common cause for errors. Errors in participial place can arise due to linguistic difference or unfamiliarity with English grammar rules, emphasizing the need for focused instruction in their correct usage. And then there's another example again, like excited about the upcoming vacation. Misplaced excited the upcoming vacation. Misplaced modifier causing confusion during sentence. Excited about the original sentence. Excited about the upcoming vacation. The suitcase sat in the corner. Implies the suitcase is capable of emotion and excitement, which is illogical, not very logic. Origin for logical subject. Rewriting as excited about the upcoming vacation. I packed the suitcase that sat in the corner. Ensure the subject I logically connects with the participial modifiers. Explaining the explanation of improved clarity by specifying the emotional state as belonging to the speakers. The correct version eliminates ambiguity and communicates the intended meaning clearly. Importance of modifier placement. This example highlights how participial place must be positioned correctly to ensure clarity and illogical relationship between sentence elements. Broader lesson for writing: avoid attaching modifiers to inanimate objects or improperly matched nouns to prevent confusion and maintain coherence in communication. Now for another example again, covered in chocolate. Misplacement of modifier. In the sentence covered in chocolate, my dog ate the cookie in seconds. The participial place ambiguously describes the dog, suggesting that the dog is covered in a chocolate. The dog covered, leading to confusion. Now for the correction logic, by revising to covered in chocolate, the cookie was eaten by my dog in seconds. The intended meaning becomes clear and accurately identifies the cookie as the object covered in chocolate. Enhancing quality to precise connection, the corrected version ensured the participial place explicitly modifies the intended subject, maintain logical coherence, and avoiding misleading implication. Now, common errors among English learners. Misuse like this often stems from misunderstanding noun-modifier relationship, highlighting the need for focus on sentence structure during language learning. Now, importance of practice for mastery. Regular exercise involving identification and correction of misplaced modifiers improve the ability to use participial place effectively, reducing ambiguity in communication. Another sample again, a sample after studying for hours. Misinterpretation of the subject. The original sentence implies the exam was the subject performing the action of studying. This this leads to ambiguity and unintended meaning. Now, for correct subject clarification by reassessing the statement, the revised sentence assigns the action of studying to Jessica as the logical subject, ensuring clarity in communication. So, logical sequence of action. The correct version maintain a logical flow by clearly delineating the subject, Jessica, her action, studying, and the subsequent event, taking the exam. Eliminating ambiguity, addressing misplaced modifier, ensure the intended meaning is preserved without introducing confusing regarding the actors in the sentence. Importance in syntax understanding. This example highlights the need for strong grasp of participial modifiers, especially amongst English learners, to avoid the typical errors caused by structural misplacement. Now, all field of possible errors in English learner. Challenge with syntax difference. English learner often struggles with correctly positioning participial modifier due to structural difference between their native language and English language, leading to confusion in sentence construction. Cross-linguistic influence on grammar. Errors typically arise from the influence of native language grammar rules, where certain language may not employ participial modifiers in the same way as the English. This frequently results in misplaced or illogical modifiers. Frequency of errors among learners. Research suggests that approximately 80% of English learners frequently make mistakes involving misplaced participial modifier, with the error rate varying significantly based on native language structure unfamiliar to English. Importance of explicit instruction. Addressing participial-based error requires explicit teaching methods focus on correct placement, providing learners with clear example and sufficient practice to develop mastery. Promoting clarity in writing, a strong emphasis on teaching logical sentence structures and encouraging feedback-based revision can aid learners in reducing participial modifier error, enabling effective and precise communication. For conclusion, understand participial placement, recognizing the importance of correctly positioning participial place, ensure that sentence convey the intended meaning without ambiguity. Avoid grammatical confusion. Misplaced or illogical participial modifier can radically alter the meaning of the sentence, leading to misinterpretation by the readers. Codified clarity in writing. Precise usage of modifier help writers enhance readability, communicate their ideas effectively, and avoid potential misunderstanding. Promote effective teaching practice, encouraging language learners to practice participial placement fosters grammatical decision, improving both academic and personal communication skills, and reduce common learners errors. Instruction tailored to address will modify mistakes and significantly decrease the frequency of such errors among English language learners. Okay, now we talking about the sentence structure and analysis compound sentence. First of all, we talking about the independent and dependent clause for identification. Sentence A analysis clause identification. In the manager approved the proposal, but the director rejected. Both the manager approved the proposal and the director rejected are independent clauses as they contain subjects and predicates capable of standing alone. Coherent through conjunction. The conjunction but introduce a contrast between the two independent clauses, connecting two equally important ideas in a single compound sentence. Semantic relevance. The rejection of the proposal by the director contrasts the manager approval, demonstrating symmetry in decision-making process. And sentence B analysis, cost differentiation. In the manager approved the proposal because the director was busy. The manager approved the proposal function as an independent clause, whereas because the director was busy is a dependent clause. And unable to stand alone to its reliance on the preceding clause. Subordinating to because the subordinating conjunction because established causation connecting to the proposal approval of the proposal to the director's business. Structural implication. The sentence highlight a relationship between clause with the dependent clause, providing a support detail for the independent clause assertion. Compound complex sentence for sentence A. Structure and classification. Sentence A, the manager approved the proposal but the director rejected, is categorized as a compound sentence. It employs the coordinating conjunction but to link two independent clauses. Clause independence. Both the manager approved the proposal and the director rejected it are independent clauses. It's capable of standing alone as complete sentence. Why not compound complex? The absence of dependent clause in sentence A excluded it from being a compound complex sentence, which requires at least one dependent clause alongside two independent ones. For sentence B, structure and classification. Sentence B, the manager approved the proposal because the director was busy, is identified as a complex sentence composed of one independent clause and one dependent clause linked by because. Clauses relationship. The manager approved the proposal serve as the independent clause, while because the director was busy is dependent clause, which cannot stand alone. With why not compound complex sentence? sentence B lacks the second independent clause necessary for compound complex structure, confirming it to be exclusively complex in nature. Okay. Sentence rewriting and reasoning. Revising sentence A. Enhance contrasts through although the manager approved the proposal, the director rejected. Provide a stronger alignment of clauses with an emphasis on opposing outcomes. The transition precision. Using although the transition the sentence smoothly, headlining the shift from approval to rejection while maintaining grammatical accuracy. Structural clarity. The revised sentence structure emphasizes the relationship between the action, improving readability, and the logical sequence for the audience. Revising for contextual alignment, recasting with although introduce a subordinate clause that connects the contrast seamlessly, making the sentence more impactful in formal discourse. Grammatical application. The modification leverages the subordinating conjunction although as emphasized in grammar study to enrich sentence complexity and improve argumentative strength. Subordinating analysis with grammatical independent clause. Definition and characteristic. An independent clause contains both a subject and a predicate and can stand alone as a complete sentence, as emphasized by Thompson and Martinet 1986 in a practical English grammar. Example, in sentence A, the manager approved the proposal and the director rejected serve as independent clause, showcasing their ability to stand alone. Okay, the role in sentence structure. Independent clause form the backbone of compound sentence as they are connected by coordinating conjunction to convey multiple ideas cohesively. Analysis in sentence examples. Independent clause in academic writing often highlight clear, unequivocal ideas to enhance argumentation and presentation of information. Application in formal writing. Independent clause are foundational element in clear communication, frequently employed in both academic and professional contexts. Dependent clause definition and features. According to Thompson and Martinet 1986, dependent clause contain a subject and predicate but cannot stand alone, requiring an independent clause to complete their meaning. The relationship via subordinated conjunction. Dependent clauses are often introduced by subordinated conjunction like because and although, as shown in sentence B clause, because the director was busy. Complementary role. Dependent clause provide additional information explaining or qualifying the main independent clause to create complex sentence. Scholarly analysis. Collin and Fong 2012 note that dependent clause often introduce contrast, causation, or elaboration, enriching the communication within formal text. Example in writing, dependent clauses allow writers to connect ideas logically, ensuring the reader grasps the full context, such as clarifying reason or contrasting arguments. Frequency of compound complex sentence in academic writing. Linguistic observation. Gain finding on sentence complexity. W.H. Green's research highlight compound complex sentence as a common in academic texts, particularly within disciplines like social science and humanities, reflecting their role in enhancing expressive precision. Smith and Jones study insight. Smith and Jones purpose-based study revealed that approximately 40% of academic writing structure involve compound complex sentences, showcasing their importance in argument clarity and logical connection. Corpus data implication. Reward corpus data, such as finding from corpus of contemporary American English or COCA, further emphasize the prevalence of compound complex sentences in formal writing. Okay. Rationally, for frequent or use of structural complexity, linguists argue that advanced sentence structure like compound complex enhance nuanced argumentation and the seamless integration of ideas in academia. Scholarly text analysis methodology studies systematically analyze the sentence structures across diverse fields and text types, indicating consistency in the frequent use and purpose of compound complex sentences in academic discourse. Okay, the difference between compound and complex sentence. Semantic function. Compound sentences often express equally significant ideas or even events, while complex sentences emphasize the relationship between a main idea and its supporting data or condition. Example for punctuation: a compound sentence like the sunset and the star twinkle. Contrast complex sentences such as the sun set because the cloud disappears. Structural versatility. Complex sentences offer greater flexibility in expressing causation, or temporal sequence, enhancing the depth of communication compared to the straightforward coordination in compound sentence. Alright, additional example of compound sentence, like example 1, illustration of subject-verb agreement. The sentence harmonizes two independent clauses with clear subject, ensuring grammatical coherence, use of coordinating conjunction, and serve as the connector to unite both clauses seamlessly, adding the temporal progression between them. Visual imagery in writing. The depiction of the sunset and the twinkling stars create vivid imagery, enriching the meaning beyond its structure. Example 2, contrast and cause. Assertion: the sentence introduces a conflict, though, but providing insight into action affected by external circumstances. But balance between clauses. Both parts of the sentence are equally weighted, reinforcing its compound nature. Contextual application demonstrates word interaction where intention is toward by uncontrollable factor, enhancing reliability. Okay, supporting analysis with books: Murcia and Larson Freeman, 1999. Coordinating in writing. The grammar book highlight the importance of compound sentence for coordinating ideas. promoting coherence and precision, balanced clause relationship, emphasize how compound sentences link independent clause, establishing equal significance, enhancing clarity, suggests that by joining two clauses, compound sentences avoid ambiguity and retain focus in communication. Arts 2011 theory in sentence construction, Oxford Modern English Grammar explores how compound sentences foster smooth transition between related ideas. Equivalence in clauses underscore the role of coordinating conjunction in unifying sentence without subordinating either clauses. Academic relevance discuss the prevalence of compound sentence in academic and formal writing, enhancing argumentation and logical flow. Yes. Syntactic evidence. Sentence A 3D diagram represent equal coordination. The structure depicts two independent clauses connected by coordinating conjunction but reflecting the equal importance. Independent clause branching. The 3D diagram showcases that two clauses, the manager approved the proposal and the director rejected as separated, but equally significantly branched. Visuality. The diagram provided a clear visual representation illustrating the equivalence and separation of the ideas conveyed within the sentence. Sentence B. The 3A diagram demonstrates subordination. The diagram highlight the dependent clause because the director was busy. Branching from the independent clause, the manager approved the proposal. Structural hierarchy emphasizes the syntactic relationship where the subordinating clause serves as a modifier or explanation for the main clause. Logical progression. The 3 diagram visually clarifies how the dependent clause function to elaborate on or explain the independent clause, adding grammatical analysis. Okay. Body data percentages of compound complex sentence. Approximate frequency in academic texts. Study conducted on corpus data such as COCA indicate that compound sentences occur in approximately 35 or 40% of scholarly articles, underscoring the critical role in academic discourse. Argumentation and clarity enhancement researchers have noted that the frequent use of this sentence structure helps present complex argument in a systematic and clear manner, particularly in the social science and humanities. Supporting linguistic research, findings like those by Green 2018 demonstrate the prevalence of compound complex sentence as a tool to construct nouns argument and maintain coherence in formal writing. Okay. Importance in formal communication. The higher usage rate of compound complex sentences reflect their contribution to robust communication in formal setting as they accommodate detailed explanation and comparison and subfield dependency. Linguistic studies indicate variation in usage rates across different fields. Disciplines like literature and sociology have shown higher reliance on compound complex construction than fields with formulatic writing. Okay. For reference, Arts the 2011 Oxford Modern English Grammar, Oxford University West. A detailed exploration of grammar psych into cross coordination in Kappa centers. Chelsea, Murcia, and Larson Freeman, the 1999, the grammar books, Heinle and Heinle. Through discussion of grammar concept with a focus of sentence structure, analysis, and syntactic relationship, Wayne W.H. 2018 Academic Discourse, The Impact of Sentence Capacity, Journal of Linguistics, 52, 145, 159, examines the prevalence and the role of compound complex sentences in academic environment. Smith A. and Jones B. 2020 Sentence Structure in Academia Linguistic Research Quarterly 8.4 to 233 to 244 provide a statistical analysis of sentence structure used in academic writing and their impact on early and argumentation. Thomas A. J. and Martinez A. V. 1986, A Practical English Grammar, Oxford University Press. A foundational resource explaining the distinction between independent and dependent clause. Okay, that's for today. I think you guys already know. Thank you. Bye.